Welcome to the Dynasty Dads podcast. Football, rankings, debates, dad stuff with your host, Justin Williams and Matt Renshaw.
And welcome everybody to this edition of the Dynasty Dads podcast. I am your host, Justin. I dye my own eggs, Williams, and with me as always, Matt. Matt, how are you today?
I'm good. I actually saw something kind of cool about if you're talking dyeing eggs, you put it in and it, like spins the egg, and you can just like use markers and make your own.
Matt, the word
design.
cool has never been used when discussing dyeing eggs.
It's cool.
Nope.
It was on Shark Tank.
Nope.
Yes.
Not cool whatsoever. But
Wrong.
I guess the people that listen to us aren't really listening because they're trying to listen to something cool. If that is you, you're in the wrong place.
Hey, check us out. We're cool.
No, you're looking for the Cool Dads podcast. That is not us. Kind of me.
Psych.
Matt just used the word psych.
Yeah.
Welcome back to
That's
95.
You
All
were
right.
like what? 8, 95?
That sounds right. Yeah,
7? Yeah, 7, 8. Yeah.
close enough.
Yeah.
So be sure to check us out for awesome intros like this.
Yeah. Talking about eggs and being cool.
Yep, we're on iTunes, of course, the number one place for podcasts, and we also have a website.
We do.
Little ditty we call dynastydads.com. We're pretty big over there on the Twitterverse.
Yes, we are.
We're at Dynasty Dads. We're on Facebook. We're going to start doing a little bit more.
We're going to do some live videos.
Yeah, pretty soon here. We're on
Yeah.
Facebook. We're at Dynasty Dads there. And as always, Matt, we usually read a 5-star review.
Usually.
But this week, I'm a little disappointed.
We have a 6-star review?
Well, no, I said disappointed.
Oh.
We actually we've gotten some 5-star ratings.
Yeah.
We just didn't. No one left a comment. No one left a review. No one said anything.
No one likes free publicity.
I guess not.
You usually have to pay for a spot like this, but I mean, we're offering it for free.
Well, especially with the numbers that we're pulling.
That's right.
But humble brag. If you are out there and you would like to pub something, tag yourself in something, whatever.
If you want to gain more followers on Twitter,
All you got to do is go to iTunes, leave a 5-star review, and say really whatever you'd like.
yes,
And as long as it's within reason,
yeah.
Matt and I will read it.
Like Justin's wife could leave a 5-star review saying Justin cooks really good tacos on Tuesday nights.
That's absolutely fact.
There you go.
Absolutely fact.
So Emily, I know you're listening. Do that.
Yeah. Do it.
Brag about Justin.
Can't blame her. Pretty awesome.
So
Matt, how was your week, my friend?
it was a good week. No complaints. Getting ready for the Easter weekend coming up.
Oh, that is coming up.
We get to. I work in a profession where I get a nice long break.
I'm going to stop you right there, Matt. I work in a profession where I have to deal with the kids on a nice long break.
Hey, that's not my fault.
That's terrible.
I don't make the days where
I don't know
we
who
get
I
off.
gotta talk to.
We
This
get a
is
week
like,
off, man.
This is like realtor season
Yeah, you're doing well.
in Iowa and Nebraska. This
Yeah.
is where like everybody, the weather's starting to change. People are getting outside a little bit. People are actually looking at houses. People are selling their houses. People are moving, and spring freaking break happens.
Yep, and you've got 2 kids to watch now.
Yeah, so I got a baby and I got a 7-year-old to keep entertained for the next 7 days.
Right.
And why does an elementary kid need 7 days for spring vacay?
It's Easter and spring and all of it wrapped into one.
Easter is 1 day.
Right, but there's Good Friday.
No.
And
There's nothing good about this Friday.
Well,
There's nothing good about this
the
Friday.
weather is supposed to be really nice.
Yeah, that'll be neat.
So I don't know. Hey, I'm not complaining. In my profession, I get a week off. I will take it. I'm sorry that you have to watch your kids. How
I know
awful!
I sound terrible.
What terrible
I know.
father wants to watch his own
No,
children?
I know I sound terrible. It's just like it's like the worst time of the year for somebody in my profession. That's all.
I don't.
Who do I have to talk to?
I don't feel sorry.
Give me a number.
You can call. I don't know who to call.
Are you gonna dress up?
Ghostbusters.
Are you gonna dress up as the Easter Bunny? Do you do anything like that?
No, I don't. I don't dress up. We probably, my girls are too young to dye eggs or do anything like that. It just would become a mess. It's like eating pasta. It's just going to be messy and gross and not really worth the hassle because they're not going to remember it. So why would we want to do it?
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like I have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. They're not going to. Oh, yeah. Remember that time when we were 2-1 and we dyed eggs and spilled vinegar juice all over everybody? And No, we're not. We may do an Easter egg hunt. In fact, last Easter, my oldest, I will never forget this. We hid eggs, and I use the word hid really, really loosely here.
Sure.
Hid eggs around the house, and she found them, and one of the eggs was a football. And she picked up the egg and said, football. And I said, yes. And she goes, touchdown. And Gronk spiked the egg and threw her hands up in the air.
Nice.
So, I mean, that video's out there online somewhere. So, proud dad moment there. She was showing some interest in football a year ago. Coming up.
I haven't told Emily yet, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wake up really early on Sunday.
Yeah.
Since I don't have any opens or anything to do.
Right.
And I'm going to just like find things that like mean the most to Emily and Carson and just hide them.
Well, you know, it's April Fool's Day too.
Yeah. Like things they need. Like Carson wears glasses from time to time, so I think I'm going to hide his glasses. And like he has an iPad because he's spoiled. So I think I might like hide the iPad. And then like I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to steal of Emily's, but there has to be something I can find.
Right.
Like driver's license, purse, other
computer,
like, things that girls
phone.
do. I don't know.
Phone.
Phone's a good one.
Phone is a good one.
Or her charger to her phone.
Oh, then they have to watch it just slowly die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's terrible. April Fool's, Easter.
Oh, that's right, and that's
what I mean. It's
thing.
April
Yeah.
Fool's.
Oh,
I've seen some things
man.
where they're wrapping up, like those little chocolate eggs.
Yeah,
They're taking the wrapping from them and wrapping grapes. So when people like open them,
I've seen that.
It's a grape, and it's disappointing. And
There's nothing wrong with grapes, though.
no, I like grapes. I don't have any complaints. It's just I don't know. It's
Got
I
any
feel
grapes?
like Easter, April Fool's Day is going to be one of those days that people either take it too far
Hey.
or they just ignore it.
Got any
You know what I mean?
grapes?
There's no middle ground.
Got any grapes? You seen that video?
I have no idea what you're
No?
talking about. No.
After the break, we'll have to play that one. That's
Okay.
good. So we have a pretty packed episode.
Yes, with lots of news and notes. Lots of big. I mean, got a big stuff with receivers and.
No. Receiver talk is receiver talk. I mean, that's whatever. We might touch on it. But today's episode, Matt, the theme,
Yeah.
rookie quarterbacks.
Rookie QBs.
2018 draft class, baby.
And we've got a special guest to come in and talk about
You're
this
damn right we do.
this 18 class. So
Damn Skippy, hippie.
yeah.
Matt said to me, you know, what should we do the show on? I said, hey, 2018 draft class quarterbacks. And Matt says, but who's going to be the expert? Who are we going to talk to? Who are we going to call? I said, Matt, you know who we're going to call.
We're going back to the well.
Derek frickin' Brown. He's on the show today.
D-Bro himself.
D-Bro. He's on the show. He's going to join us. He's going to give us his insights on the quarterback draft class, and we're going to kind of pick his brain a little bit.
He's the first returning guest that we have, as Dynasty Dads have, and he was our first guest ever on the podcast.
Absolutely.
So it's good to go back and talk to somebody that we've talked to before and kind of pick their brain a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Faux show. So we're going to take a quick break, but before we do, Matt and I wanted to thank everybody for listening. Our numbers have grown tremendously,
So much,
month over month.
Yes.
And we literally, when we got here today, I looked at him and I said, how unbelievable is it that a certain number of people
yes, a large number of people
downloaded and actually listened to our podcast?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
We don't get it. But we are very.
I wish my students. I had this many students listening to me when I teach.
Yeah, we can't get our own kids to listen to us, but apparently people like the show.
Yeah.
And we're so thankful for that, and we're very grateful. And we're just going to continue to do what we can to entertain you guys.
Yeah.
So with that being said, here's a commercial.
Looking for your next favorite podcast? One that will teach you how to make millions with Bitcoin, help you lose those extra stubborn pounds, or make your spine tingle with a murder mystery? Stop searching and let Podable do the work. Podable is the only podcast player that learns what you love and recommends podcasts just for you. Import your favorites automatically and instantly discover new ones. Find your next favorite podcast today by visiting us at Podable.co or download our app in the iOS App Store. That's Podable, P-O-D-I-B-L-E, and discover your story.
Woo! How about that commercial?
That was a great commercial.
Thank you.
Great.
Are
And
you
you
entertained?
threw right to it.
Are you not entertained?
Yes.
Oh, I'm cruel. Anyways, Matt, we got a little bit of news and notes. It's not a lot.
Well, there's not a lot of quantity, but the quality is there. I mean, these are some big topics that we're going to talk about.
I suppose so.
I think they're huge. I mean, I think one of these is just like the biggest thing in the NFL right now, and I'm just kind of surprised that it's happening.
Yeah, it is pretty hard to believe that Dez Bryant is still a Cowboy.
That is not. You always do that. You twist. I'm just going to let you lead here. Go ahead.
Dez Bryant still a Cowboy, even after the signing of Allen Hurns.
Yep, Allen Hurns. You want to talk about Dez first, or you want to talk about adding Allen Hurns?
Let's talk about Dez Bryant a little bit, because it's obviously impactful to every dynasty league that anybody's in, because obviously Dez Bryant is a wide receiver 1 on somebody's team in every league.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
As a Cowboys fan, I just don't know why I'm doing this to myself.
I'm a resident Cowboys fan.
What do you think of the Cowboys considering cutting Dez Bryant?
I think it's stupid.
Okay.
I honestly don't think it's if we're just looking at it financially, taking a $12 million dead money hit, even though it's spread out amongst 2 years, it's just not smart to me. Get the guy. He may not be producing at that money level, but you see guys that are getting signed right now. I mean, the wide receiver money is crazy. Sammy Watkins got $16 million a year. It's just Jarvis Landry. Obviously got the tag, but the fact that these guys are getting paid more than Dez, and we're going to cut him and just take a hit, he's going to go somewhere and get paid, and then you have to use money to get a new wide receiver. It doesn't make any sense to me to cut him. Keep him, let him play out his deal. You signed him. He's not one of the highest paid wide receivers anymore. You might as well use him what you can use him for instead of the dead money that you're going to have.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all, in my opinion. I think it's just not a good football move.
No.
So what? You cut him. You know what he's going to get signed for?
What did you gain?
You know what he's going to get signed for? 12, 13, 14
Yeah,
million.
what you're paying him.
It's like, it doesn't make sense at all.
And you have to pay him anyway. So it just, you might as well get him and use him. And even if he doesn't do what you think he's going to do, he's still a top wide receiver on your team. The signing of Allen Hurns, he's not going to step in and be a wide receiver 1. Like, that's not Hurns'
I want to say something real quick before we
Go
jump
ahead.
into jump into Hurns, and I have a couple things to say about Hurns too. Shocker. Dez Bryant. If I'm an owner of Dez Bryant in a dynasty league, I'm actually kind of liking this.
Oh yeah, I'm an owner and I love it.
From my perspective, from what the picture that I can paint about Dez Bryant is that he's an ultra competitive dude.
Yep.
And this is absolutely nothing but motivating the heck out of him.
Yes, it is.
Like, I am really worried about going up against Dez Bryant week 1, on somebody else's roster. Like,
Right.
I don't want to do it.
You think he's just going to blow up?
I think there's a good chance that he blows up. I think Dez Bryant is a physical monster. I think he has all the capability in the world.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, so I would be a little worried.
I'm seeing some of the trades that people are giving up to get him, and I'm like, I would buy at the prices that I've seen out there that people are getting. I mean,
For sure.
his value's dropping. Sure, I'll buy a wide receiver 1 on a team in any fantasy league. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me to not buy at that price.
So let's move on to Allen Hurns.
Okay.
I think personally Allen Hurns killed Terrence Williams.
I don't.
I think that whatever
It's
little
coming.
value that T. Will had, gone.
Well,
Outta here.
Let me flip it. I think Hurns.
Vamonos.
I think Hurns hurt.
He didn't hurt Dez.
No, he didn't hurt Dez.
He hurt Switzer.
Well, and it's not even Switzer. I mean, Switzer was a rookie last year. He's our punt return guy, or not our, but the Cowboys. I wouldn't be surprised if they put Hurns in the slot and drafted a Ridley or a Sutton or a Kirk at 19, and then cut T. Will, cut Beasley. I mean, cut somebody to make room for this young up and coming wide receiver. You've got Dez, and now you've got Hurns in the slot because Hurns is a slot machine. I mean, he's
Hurns is going to play outside. He's going to play that too.
I would love to see them add a rookie wide receiver and then have Hurns play the 3.
Nah, Hurns is going to be just fine. I think Hurns is an upgrade over T. Will. He's an upgrade over Switzer. I mean, obviously it depends on what they do with the rookie, but I think I'd trust Hurns over any rookie.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I would love to see Sutton.
The Cowboys aren't going to take a first-round pick on wide receiver.
I wouldn't be so confident in that.
I don't see it. There's other holes in that team.
They need help on defense, yeah, but and they signed.
They will draft a wide receiver.
They drafted
I
or
just don't
signed
see it being the first
Deontay
round.
Thompson too, who's supposed to be That doesn't.
Were you high on? Wasn't Thompson the guy you were high on?
Not in Dallas.
Okay.
I mean, if he went somewhere and he was a 2 or 3, maybe he had some big flashes in Buffalo last year, but no, not really. I would love them to draft a wide receiver early.
Well, let's move on with wide receivers.
Okay.
Odell Beckham Jr. Man,
Yes.
what in the heck is going on?
I don't know. I don't. He seems like he just wants to light all the bridges on fire and burn them down in New York.
He can. Why not?
He's going to get paid. Like, I don't understand why the Giants are like, we're not going to pay him. Fine, you're not going to. Someone's going to pay the man. He is the wide receiver to own. He's going to make more than Mike Evans, who is making $18 million a year.
Rightfully so.
Yes. Odell, he wants 20. I hear that he wants 20. That's a little high, but you see B-, C+ quarterbacks making $18 million, $19 million a year. So why wouldn't an A+ wide receiver game changer be not entitled to that much money?
Yeah, it's just the off-the-field stuff, man. It's kind of holding him back a little bit, but he's still a premier player.
Oh, absolutely.
He showed brilliance on the field, and, I mean, quite frankly, he sells jerseys, he sells tickets.
Yep.
And the Giants, they just got it backwards right now. To even consider trading a guy like that,
Right.
but you went out of your way to keep Eli around.
Right.
You already pulled the trigger last year. Let him go.
Eli or Odell?
Eli.
Yeah.
It's like, let's start this rebuild process
Might as
now.
well.
Let's draft a quarterback in the first round at two, and let's just see what he can do.
Right. You blow it up. I mean, but I guess their argument is they have a good defense. All you need is a competent quarterback. I don't know.
I think the Giants draft is going to be such a fun one to watch and to see what they do, because there's obvious holes in that team all over the place, especially on offense.
Well, and they traded JPP.
Yeah.
For nothing, peanuts. 4th round and a 6th round pick. I mean, it was
like a 5th digit.
I think it's funny that he went to the Bucks because now he can have like a hook for a hand and it like plays perfectly into it. Yes.
Shiver me timbers.
So okay, let's talk Odell. If he gets traded, I mean,
there's rumors out there saying that the Giants want 2 first-rounders for OBJ.
Right.
That's not even enough. This is real life, people.
Right.
That's not enough.
If I'm San Francisco, I call up and say we'll figure something out.
Every NFL team should be on the phone right now.
The only problem is you got to have cap room to make that work. So there's only a few teams that can do that. San Francisco makes sense to me. The Rams make sense to me. Even Cleveland, I hear. I don't know why. I don't know.
That Rams defense got so much better.
And then Ndamukong Suh.
Oh my God. Well, and those cornerbacks that they got too,
and
Marcus
Aaron
Peters and whatever his name was.
Aqib Talib.
Oh yeah, Talib.
Yeah. They're if they get Odell,
dead to me.
They are like the Super Bowl favorites, right?
Well, I mean, now we're kind of. I don't want to say like who could get him because I don't think he ends up being traded. I just think this is completely silly. No, I think this is completely silly that it's even something the Giants, if they are considering it, that tells you everything you need to know about the Giants franchise.
Here's what I think is funny. There's other wide receivers in that 2014 class that have been traded, and I mean it's not a shock.
Jordan Matthews
got traded. Was he in that class?
2014?
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident.
Kelvin Benjamin got traded.
Kelvin, yeah.
Eric Ebron, who's not a wide receiver, but he's on a different team. I mean, the only constant has been Mike Evans and Odell.
That's a weird one.
Yeah.
It's a weird one. And did you read the story? Gase is still high on Devontae Parker.
Every offseason we hear the Dolphins hype on Devontae Parker.
It will never frickin' end.
If he stays healthy, he'll be great.
He almost got me last year. It almost got me last year.
I like Parker.
I bought a few Parker shares, and
here's where I'm at on Parker in terms of dynasty. If I own him, I'm not selling him.
There's no reason to sell him,
and I don't want to go buy him. I don't want to draft him in startups. I don't want to buy him anywhere. Like I'll hold where I've got him, but I'm not. I don't know.
How pumped up are you for the draft?
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Like usually I'm on a trip for school and I don't get to watch it. Like last year I was in California when it was going on. The year that the Titans traded back, I was in Nashville for that draft.
Yeah.
It was kind of a cool feeling. So I'm hoping that I actually get to sit down and watch it rather than follow it on Twitter. But yeah, I'm stoked. It's in Dallas. Like I would love to go. Like I would love to be in Dallas watching the draft at the Cowboy Stadium.
Nah, I wouldn't want to watch it. I'll watch it on TV. That's the best way to watch it, on TV.
It's just an experience, man. Like, would you ever get to do that? It's like people that went to New York to watch the draft however many years in a row.
I mean, like, if it was local, yeah, sure, but it's never going to be. So
if it's in Omaha?
Yeah, it's like it's not going to happen unless Omaha ever gets a team, and it's just, I don't see that working.
The Nighthawks. The Mammoths.
So I got 2 more stories for you, Matt.
Okay, what do we got?
They're big ones.
I'm sure they're not big ones.
The Texans signed a brand new quarterback,
Oh,
Brandon Weeden.
that's not new.
It's fairly new. It's 2 days old.
No, what I mean is he was there. It's not like they signed a new quarterback.
Isn't Brandon Weeden like 40-something?
Brandon
by
Weeden
now?
came into the league as a 27-year-old rookie. He's probably 30.
It's such a
33,
cool
34.
story. It really is.
He played baseball, and then he came back.
Dad stat. Brandon Weeden, 34
I
years
believe
old.
I just said that. He's probably 34 years old.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he came in as a 27-year-old rookie. Another wasted Browns first-round pick.
22 overall in the first round.
Hey,
of the
you know who else
2012
they
draft.
drafted 22 overall?
Man, that's crazy.
Johnny Manziel.
He's going to look really good holding that clipboard, though. I tell you what.
Yeah.
Last but certainly not least.
Another big news?
No, this one actually is kind of something we need to know about.
Okay.
The owners of the NFL passed the revised catch rule by a vote of 32-0.
Why are we talking about this?
Why not?
No, it just brings up bad memories because
Dez didn't catch
it's
it?
the Dez rule.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go back and
Jesse James, Des Bryant.
That's right.
It's happened over and over
Calvin
again.
Johnson.
Let me just read you the excerpt here.
Okay.
This is kind of easiest way to do it. The new rule eliminates the going to the ground portion of the catch rule and simplifies what constitutes a catch. Ball secure, 2 feet, or any other body part besides the hand inbounds,
Yep.
and a football move, which I've always thought was hilarious.
Football move. Is that a head juke?
Yeah. In presenting the changes, Vice President of Officiating Al Riveron, confirmed Des Bryant's infamous incompletion in the 2014 playoffs and Jesse James' overturned touchdown last season would be considered catches under the new rule. Mm-hmm. Way to go, NFL. You finally fixed it.
Yeah, well, hey.
For now.
I was just saying, wait until it actually happens in a game and see if they know what a catch is yet.
For a league with so many millions of dollars riding on it, you would think something as simple as, like, what is a catch?
What they would have figured out.
Yeah. Like, far before now.
Yeah. I don't understand why it took them this long. Probably because Vince McMahon came out with the XFL and said, we're going to know what a catch is.
No chance.
I wish we had video because I'm doing my Vince McMahon arm swing here.
You're going to hit somebody with those things.
I know. They're big.
Well, that's it for News and Notes, man. It's
Yeah.
kind of a slow week.
Well,
huh?
I mean, like I said, it's big news, but there's not a lot of it.
Yep. So, what do you say we take a quick break?
And then
We
let's
come back and let's dial up Debo. You
bring
got him
another
ready?
dad in here.
Yeah, dial him up.
D-bro.
Bring him in.
All right, I got it.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, Matt, it is that time. We have our first ever guest
Back.
in the house.
The return.
Mr. Derek Brown. Derek, welcome to the show.
What is going on, guys? It's a lovely night tonight. Well, I don't know. I mean, so far it is.
Yeah.
Weather down here is pretty damn terrible, but it seems like y'all are having a good one.
It's not too bad up here.
Shoot, I'm glad y'all had me back on. I mean, from the looks of it, y'all are getting big time, man. Y'all had a bunch of great guests. Look, I'm just being the first. I'm coming back again. I'm just trying. It's a tough crowd to follow. Y'all had Mitchell Renz on, and last episode was Scott Fish.
It was
if
a
I'm
big
correct,
one.
right?
Yeah, it was Scott Fish. Yep.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you
Yeah.
noticing how big time we are. That's nice.
Like I said, I'm just trying to follow in fill some pretty big shoes and Renz and Fish, and I'm glad that I've come back. That's good to know after all the big time guests you've had on lately. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of figured the only way we can go is down, so we invited you back.
Oh, great! So I'm going back down the roller coaster as it
No,
were.
I'm just playing, Derek. There was a reason why we wanted you to come back. You were a great guest the first time. You were our first guest, and we're happy to have you back. So tell our listeners where they can find your work and how they can connect to you.
Well, I'm probably on Twitter far more than any average human being should ever be. So you can check me out on Twitter. I'm at Debro_FFB. And you can listen to my lovely, beautiful voice over at, we have our podcast. It's going to be kicking off soon. The Dynasty team is still rolling at FFB_247. That's fantasy football 24/7. And so, I mean, it's not yet redraft season. I mean, in between, all the kids and stuff like that, I've been working on a few articles and stuff. Should have one dropping on Roto Underworld probably this week, and working on a few things for 24/7 crew, and doing a little Dynasty writing for Gridiron Experts. So, between life and football, I'm a busy guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say your schedule sounds packed. And you mentioned the kids. Congrats, you have a new baby, correct? A new daughter.
Yeah. She is at 2. She's 2.5 weeks right now. So it's been a whirlwind,
You're
man.
in that zombie, I can't get any sleep mode, I would imagine.
Oh, it's yeah. Last night was a perfect example of that. I'm in between. Working on a drink right now, and I shotgunned some coffee earlier, so trying to even out. But yeah, rarely slept last night. She was up all night. I don't know, man. I feel like she thinks it's college time right now. At 2-3 a.m., she's ready to party, and I'm like, dude, it's not party time.
Yeah,
so
go to sleep. So I know you're 2 weeks in, but how is being a dad of 3 different than being a dad of 2?
Oh man, how many kids do y'all have?
I have 2.
2 each?
2.
Yeah.
I think.
Put it this way.
That you know of, you have 2.
Yeah. Another one just lying in the weeds out there. I can tell you one thing. It's different. I mean, we got a 5 and an 8-year-old, and I don't want to say we pressed the easy button, but you got used to sleeping all the way through the night, and the kids don't get up till 7:30 or 8, and they are bound and determined not to try to murder themselves like the 2 and 3-year-olds are basically at every turn. But I can tell you what, the best thing I can think of, just because this happened yesterday, is I'm definitely working on my multitasking skills. My 8-year-old had a school performance yesterday, and at one point in his performance, I am working the camera, so I got the camera going. I'm trying to video his performance. I'm holding my 2-week-old daughter, and my left hand's trying to hold the pacifier in her mouth and keep her from fussing in the middle of the performance. And then I've got my 5-year-old sitting next to my wife, who is throwing a fit about absolutely nothing. I don't know. The wall was a color she didn't like.
Typical 5-year-old stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So between all that, the multitasking, I'm trying to up my game.
I've always heard when you go from basketball analogy, you got a man coverage, and then when you're outnumbered, you got to go to a zone and just kind of figure it out.
We're at it's absolute zone defense right now. There's no man coverage anymore. You got 2 hands, and my wife and I always joked about it. You have 2 hands, and if you have a third, you got 1, you got 2, and the third one's just running around. You hope they're making noise, and that you can figure out where they are, because you don't really know. But with the third one, we definitely are asking the other 2 to, big brother and big sister some more.
Entertain themselves.
Well, just try to, quote unquote, help out. So it's been, needless to say, interesting. So we got them doing a little bit more of the stuff around the house. So my daughter's idea of what her room is clean and mine is just a little bit different.
Just a tad.
Yeah. I went up there the other day, and I'm like, all right, so, like a big sister, you cleaned your room really great, huh? She's like, oh, yeah, Dad, totally got it, yeah. Come see. I roll upstairs, and from the looks of it, I'm like, oh, yeah, you did a great job. And then the more I walked into the room, I could tell that things were not exactly what they seemed. Like, she had, clothes, shoved up underneath her dresser, there's all these dirty clothes and crap underneath her blanket on her bed that's hanging off. And I noticed out of the corner of my eye, there's a trail of ants coming down from the window. And I'm like, what the hell is up with this?
Yeah.
And so I pull up her Barbie playhouse, and underneath her Barbie playhouse, behind it underneath it, there's a lollipop stuck to the ground and stuff. I'm like, it was like the House of Horrors. The more I got into it, I was like, all right, I just need to back out of it.
Yep, just walk by and get the quick view.
Pretty much.
So let's talk a little football.
Yeah.
Derek, what are your thoughts on this? Well, I should preface this by saying today's episode's a little bit about rookie quarterbacks. We're going to talk quarterbacks a lot. So we got to know, what are your thoughts on this 2018 quarterback draft class?
I mean, overall, it's pretty good class. I think that there's definitely a lot of different quarterbacking types in this class. I mean, you have your Baker Mayfields, you have your Josh Allens, Lamar Jacksons and stuff. So you got your mobile quarterbacks, your big tall ones, got the cannon for an arm. What I think is always interesting, and, I mean, obviously being newer to football than, say, the Mel Kipers of the world,
right,
is that there's just so many divided opinions. And I think the biggest, I mean, you guys are on Twitter constantly. The biggest divide right now feels like from all the scout perspective, and then you have draft Twitter and stuff, and it just feels so far apart at times. It's kind of shocking.
No one really has a consensus number one, is what I've realized. I mean, there's positives for all of them, and there's negatives for all of them. Even Kiper and who's this?
McShay.
McShay, thank you. They don't agree on who's what. I mean, Kiper's got Rosen 1, and McShay's got him 2. So it's little. Even they can't agree on who the best prospect is in the group.
Well, I feel like you have all these college offenses. It's just hard to kind of. I mean, the NFL is taking on some of these, more RPO schemes and such, but it's still just hard to evaluate some of these guys coming out of these schemes from college.
Yep.
Well, Derek, who's your number one then?
So my number one has to be Baker Mayfield. I just feel like with on-field production and just his entire resume, man. I do like Rosen. He's my number 2 right now, but I love Baker Mayfield. I love watching him play so far in the film that I've been able to break down. I just love his touch passing. He's able to move around in the pocket, and I love. There's a lot of different things about his game that are just great. I like that you see him kind of go through his progressions, and one of the things that I've noticed with him that you don't see with a lot of the other prospects is that he's just quiet. He's always, and that's not a word you'd ever think you'd ever hear about Baker Mayfield, but he's quiet in the pocket. He's always composed in the pocket. Like, you don't see him with, just seems like he's always got things under wraps.
And he's got one thing that I think he gets a bad rap for is, he's got some swagger to him. He's not afraid to, he controls an offense. Hugh Jackson said a weird quote about Mayfield, about being the Pied Piper in Oklahoma, but which I still don't quite understand. But he takes the lead. I mean, he's a guy that he's going to lead a team, and he's got that kind of that bravado that you want your quarterback to have. He's not my number one, but I agree with you that he's got, some positive qualities.
Well, the thing that I think that translates really well to the NFL with him is, everybody wants to talk about cannons for an arm and metrics and size and all sort of kind of crap. Like, what I love about him is like I said, the touch passing, but not only that, but like the thing that all these quarterbacks are going to face that is going to be so different from college going to the NFL is pressure. And until you get used to the speed of the NFL game, how do they deal with pressure, even at the college level? And I felt like he was great under pressure. I was actually listening to a few different pods and looking at a lot of different things the other day. PFF has him ranked really highly as far as under pressure ratings. You have a guy that what also speaks volumes, if you just want to talk about strict numbers, is a guy that's only thrown 14 interceptions over the last 2 seasons in college. And you look at comparable prospects that are coming out right now. You have Darnold, who threw 13 last season alone.
Yeah.
So I got to say, the more film I watch, I'm very close to getting on the Baker Mayfield hype train. I'm not going to even lie about it.
If he lands in the right team, the right position, his stock is going to go sky high in dynasty leagues, I think. Derek, if you had to bet your house that is infested with ants. Who's the biggest quarterback bust from this class?
My biggest bust right now is Josh Allen. And from film to numbers to everything, I'm just not seeing it. I know that, scouts and what have you want to talk about, oh, he's so big and he's got this cannon of an arm.
Raw, he's got talent, yeah.
He's projectable and blah, blah, blah. And I'll say one thing. I do not care how far you could throw a damn football sitting on your butt, on one knee, laying on your back. I don't give a shit, because guess what? In an NFL game, you're never going to do that.
Right.
So how many throws are you going to make 60, 70 yards down a field in an NFL game?
Well,
not many.
The last guy that everyone was building up that had this strong arm, that was a big guy, Jamarcus Russell, ended up being an offensive tackle. So, you know what I mean? I see... I hate to do this because I don't want to, I don't know if it's already out there or whatever, but I see Josh Allen as Joe Flacco 2.0. I mean, he's got a big arm, he's a big guy, he could be good, but I don't think Flacco's lived up to the hype that he had either.
Well, I actually got on with another podcast, and I'll still stand by the comp. He just feels like a more nervous version of Jay Cutler to me. It's all this big arm, big intangibles, or what have you.
Right.
And there's so many things with his game. I've watched enough film to watch him bail out of clean pockets, to just act like he constantly hears footsteps, and then just trying to make something out of nothing in so many instances. And people want to talk about, okay, well, the team around him was crap. Okay, well, isn't one of your greatest attributes, number one, if you're such an amazing talent and you should go top 5 in the NFL, shouldn't you be dominating this level of competition at this small school that you're at? And number two, isn't your job as a quarterback to elevate the players around you? I mean, how many different... I just feel like there's a lot of excuses. Okay, well, his accuracy is not great. Oh, okay, well, we could work on that. Well, his completion percentage sucks, which that's a crappy stat to go with because there's so many different factors.
But then they blame the wide receivers.
Yeah, but then they blame the wide receivers. But people don't have any problems with, glossing over Josh Allen's accuracy issues, but then they want to talk about Lamar Jackson needs to switch positions because of his.
Right.
I hear a lot of people talking a lot of things, especially from, I guess more NFL scout-wise and stuff, about how, one, the numbers don't matter, and two, we can teach him all these things. But how many quarterbacks have come into the NFL in the last few years where there are just known accuracy issues? Accuracy issues just are abound.
Right.
And we've been able to totally remake, one, how you make decisions, two, how you are in the pocket. When you go to the NFL, you're going to see even more pressure and the game's going to speed up. And then three, we're going to make you an overall more accurate passer. How many times do we see that actually happen?
Right. So what you're saying is Josh Allen is the perfect pick for the Cleveland Browns to screw this up.
You know what? I'm not even going to say they're that dumb. I don't think that the Browns take it. At least, dear God, I for all the moves they've been making that have seemed somewhat intelligent, I kind of wonder if the Broncos are the ones that fall on this landmine, only if John Elway sees a young him
right
in Josh Allen, tall, big arm, all that kind of good stuff.
Or the Bills trade up and take. I could see that too.
No, I could see that too. I mean, the Bills have shown, at least from their handling of Tyrod last year, that they want a pocket passer.
Right.
They don't want a mobile quarterback. They want somebody at least that, looks the part of being a great quarterback like Josh Allen does. And, because people talked about his pro day the other day. And, I mean, yeah, I'm sure he's amazing in T-shirt and shorts and throwing the ball all over the place when nobody's running at him. But, I'm not a fan.
Okay, another guy you mentioned, Lamar Jackson. So some comps. You mentioned Mitchell Rentz earlier. Mitchell Rentz compared to Mike Vick. Thoughts? I mean, that seems like a stretch to me, but I mean, you've watched some film. What do you think?
I see the Vick comparisons. I haven't seen Vic not only had the ability to run, but the dude had a cannon. And Jackson has a good arm. I'm not going to say that he doesn't, but does he have just the raw cannon that Vic had? I don't believe so, at least in the limited film I've watched. Now, what I do like about Lamar Jackson is, I mean, I just kind of crapped on the ability to make people into a more accurate passer, but some of the things, at least, you watch film and hear the breakdowns, at least mechanic-wise and things like that. I'm not a quarterback guru or with mechanics and things like that, but the things that I have picked up, it seems like some of his things could be more, have the ability to be coached in the sense of like he throws from a shallow base. His feet are very narrow at times, and you see the accuracy kind of wax and wane. What I like about Lamar Jackson is not only the mobility, but the ability, like I've seen him on film go through progressions more and be quiet in the pocket. And as far as the Vic comparison, I don't see as big of an arm, but the mobility and the speed, oh man, yeah, for days. He looks like, I mean, the guy is electric with the ball in his hands.
So everyone knows the big 4, 5 that we've talked about. You said you watched some film on Mason Rudolph. What do you think?
So far, with Mason Rudolph, the one thing that I do love from him that doesn't come through with the film is that I love guys that come from football bloodlines. I mean, he had his father and his brother play college ball, more on the defensive side. But you see guys that grow up around the game like that, they have a different understanding. I mean, that's one of the reasons I love Cooper Kupp so much last year. They have a different understanding of the game than you have guys that don't. There's just a difference. I mean, some of these guys have footballs from the time in their hands from the time that they could walk. But as far as his film-wise, a lot of shotgun throws, a lot of a lot of quick reads. I would like to have seen him go through his progressions a little bit more on some of his throws. I feel like from what I've seen so far on his film, he's solid. There's no one thing about Mason Rudolph that I feel like just absolutely stands out. His accuracy is good. I like his ball placement on a lot of his throws and some of his downfield throws. I think his arm strength is he's good. He has enough arm strength to make NFL throws. But as far as progressions and taking more snaps under center, I would have liked to see like I said, I like Mason Rudolph to a certain extent. I get why he's graded as like a round 3-ish prospect, because there's just nothing that just kind of jumps out of his game. But there are attributes that I feel like can translate to the next level. What I haven't seen in film is, like I said, like the ability, because in a lot of that scheme, because of how colleges run a lot of their offenses now, is the ability to get to that, second and third level of his progressions and really show that, not only can he read through the defenses, but can he throw guys open? Can he pump fake? Can he have the ability to manipulate defenses to help his team?
I see him as a kind of career backup. He can win you a game here or there, but if you're relying on him, you're not gonna. I mean, I don't think he's gonna take you to the promised land.
Yeah, I mean, at least from the film that I've seen so far, I'd say obviously, and then put it this way, he's gonna need to show some more things at the NFL level to feel like he's going to be a starter right now. Yeah, I mean, I kind of side with that. He kind of feels like a guy that, in the right situation and the right scheme, could he come in and be a spot starter? Could he develop into a league average starter like an Andy Dalton or something like that?
Right.
Yeah, sure. But am I just wowed by his film compared to somebody like we were talking about Baker Mayfield? No, I mean, I don't see the same things on film with him.
Right.
Hey, Derek, do you have anybody outside of the top 3 or 4 that you think might be a sleeper, might have some potential if they land in the right spot?
I've watched a little bit of film on Laletta. I like what I've seen so far. I feel like if he gets into the right spot and somebody can just let him kind of sit on the bench for a while.
Sure.
In a good offense, he could be a prospect that actually could surprise some people.
All right. Well, I think that about does it, Derek. We really appreciate you coming on the show again.
Back.
Yeah, excellent stuff as always. And just one last time, can you let everybody know where they can get in touch with you?
Absolutely, guys. So you can find me on Twitter at @dbro_FFB. You can check out my main hub 24/7. I'll be podcasting pretty soon. We're working things up. Probably start kicking things off right after the draft. Fantasy football 24/7. So we're at FFB_247. And I got some articles coming out on Gridiron Experts and Roto Wonderworld. So check me out. I'm always on there doing redraft and dynasty stuff. So appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah,
it's definitely, like I said, big shoes to fill with your last few guests. So I'm excited to be back, guys.
Yeah, you're always welcome on the show.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Derek.
Yeah. Hashtag dad life.
That's right.
Take care, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, man, I think that about does it for the show, man. Man. Special shout out to Derek Brown again for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Awesome interview.
It's always
as
good to have him back. And
dude knows his stuff.
Yep. Watch his film.
Yep.
Trying to get his girls watching film with him.
I've already emailed him a really good referral for a pest inspection.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can help him out.
Yep.
Matt, I think we have a show next week. Don't we?
We do have a show next week. We're gonna. I mean, this week we talked rookie quarterbacks. Next week we're gonna hit on the rookie running backs.
Oh, wow.
Talk about this great class of running backs that's coming in, and
Oh my god.
I've got another expert to pick their brain.
Who you got? Who you got?
It's a
Because
new-
I'm already here.
It's a new guest for the show, Nate Hamilton.
Hey, I've heard of him.
Yeah. At Dominate FF is going to be on the show. Going to join us next week and kind of break down this running back class and who he likes. And we're going to talk more Barkley than anyone else has. Because I mean, I don't know if anyone knows who this Barkley guy is, but he's pretty good.
Never heard of her.
I didn't think so. So,
well, cool. We got something to look forward to. That's going to be amped up.
Yep. We are going to be a day later next week.
Oh, that's right.
We're gonna drop Thursday night, Friday morning, rather than our normal Wednesday night, Thursday morning.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's okay though. Gives us another week to get our voices all relaxed and amped up for the next episode.
My voice is never relaxed.
Never?
This is my level 24/7.
Oh man, I do like exercises. Gargle salt water and
How now, brown cow?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter Piper picked a pack of peel peppers.
Yeah, it's not helping. So just want to let everybody know, as a reminder, leave your 5-star review on iTunes.
Free publicity.
And for God's sakes, people, leave a comment, leave a review.
Free. We'll say whatever. School appropriate, but whatever.
We're also on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on everything that does podcasts.
Yes.
We're at Dynasty Dads. I always want to put the in there. It's not there.
It's not the Facebook. It's just Facebook.
And be sure to check out our website, dynastydads.com, for all the latest news and notes and breaking news and articles. And, geez, man, I can't even think of all the stuff that's on
We've
there.
got some articles. I mean, we've had a lot of traffic over there with some of our newer pieces that we've added. So
Yeah, absolutely. We have some amazing content.
our team
creators.
of writers is off the charts. So
For sure. So check it out. You're going to see some links in the description below. And as always, take care. Have a good rest of your week and get amped up for the draft.
yeah, it's coming sooner than it'll be here soon.
Sooner than it'll be here soon. Peace out.
God bless.
Thanks for hanging out with us on another episode of the Dynasty Dads podcast. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes and follow us on Twitter at Dynasty Dads. Visit us at our website, dynastydads.com, for articles, news, and notes, Dynasty Dads gear, and more.